So you might have to bear with me a little bit on this one. This is going to be a bit of a vlog style video. If you've been watching the channel, you know that I've got a new barbecue, a 250 gallon primitive pit. And for the first cook on this, I've actually got 8 briskets to cook for a private client. And I don't really have time to do a full kind of table out, lights on video. And I'm actually selling these briskets, so you're not going to see what they look like inside. But I've got a brisket video from a couple of weeks ago, and it's going to be exactly the same process. So really this video is going to be about cooking multiple briskets on a larger pit and how I do it, rather than a tutorial about how to cook brisket. So hopefully you enjoy it. So I got some briskets trimmed up today. I did 8 briskets. Those are currently in the fridge. They're going to go on tomorrow morning, really early. And I'm not seasoning them tonight. I'm actually going to season them in the morning, which is completely different to how I would just do 1 or 2 briskets. If I had big commercial fridges, I would season them today, but I'll talk more about that in a bit. So today's Friday, we're cooking tomorrow on Saturday. Customers coming on Sunday to pick these briskets up. So we're going to get these briskets on about probably like 4 a.m, way earlier than I need to get these briskets done in time for the following day. But I want to get a good amount of smoke on these, so I like to cold smoke them for a couple of hours, and I'd rather front load the day, get up early, rather than push the cook back until midnight. So we're going to get up at like 4, probably get these briskets on at about 5 a.m, maybe a bit earlier. So to expedite the process in the morning, what I like to do is get my pit ready to go, so I can just come out here, light a torch, light the fire lighters, and let the wood do its thing for a bit. So need to load this up. Gonna put a couple of dense logs at the bottom. Not a crazy amount of wood, just enough to get us started. Try and make a pretty small gap between these top logs. I'm just gonna take some fire lighters and just chuck them back there. I can just come in the morning, light this fire lighter, this will be ready to go. So the wood's in the firebox. I'm going to show you this while it's still light. But basically this is just like a tradesman torch, nothing special. One of those ones that like an electrician would have, and it's magnetic. So what I'll do is just set that on there, and then at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever, I'll just tilt it, and that will completely light up the entire cook chamber. I mean, it doesn't look too different now, but when it's pitch black outside, it's going to really light it up. I'll put a link for that below. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prep my brisket seasoning box. I want to come downstairs, take my briskets out of the fridge, put them in, and take them straight out to the pit. The reason why I'm not doing this the night before, which is what I would usually do because I think it gives you a better bark, is because I don't have the fridge space to season them all tonight and keep them on individual racks. So at the moment they're trimmed and they're stacked all on top of each other. If I was to season them, the stacking on top of each other would just ruin the seasoning. So I'm gonna have to do it in the morning. Not my preferred way, but it'll be fine. So as usual, I'm gonna go in with 2 parts black pepper, 1, 2, and 1 part Diamond Crystal Kosher salt. And then just get this all mixed around. And this is all ready for the morning, 2 parts pepper, 1 part salt. You've probably seen this before. Nice trim. These have been on for a couple of hours now, running at about 250-ish, a bit hotter in the middle. Let's check on them. They've been going about 2.5 hours. Not looking too bad. Bit of pooling, we'll tip that. Colour-wise, everything's looking nice. I'm gonna give these back ones a little spritz, just because it's a bit hot back here. Got some beef ribs at the back there. Trying to keep this end a bit cooler. I'm clearly running a bit too hot at this back end, so I'm gonna have to rotate. The draw on this primitive is awesome. Briskets are looking good. I mean, I hate this, but nothing you can do about it. Some of these briskets were scalped straight out the packet. You can see like this, but overall they're looking good, about 5 hours in. So temping these briskets just to get an idea of how far along these ones are versus the ones at the front, and these are temping probably about 15 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Fahrenheit hotter. So I'm gonna do a rotate. I'm gonna go front to back. Right, so we are 9 hours into this cook, and I've been trying my best to capture everything that I've been doing, but trying to focus on the actual cook rather than making a video. All 8 briskets are wrapped, well, foil boated. They were all temping around 175, maybe 180-ish. Foil boated them all, and just now just a case of getting them tender, getting those flats tender. Pit has been running incredibly well. Like really well. Huge amount of draw on it. I'm really pushing these temps right now as well, so I've got quite a big fire going on in there, but it's still not even remotely close to the exchange. This firebox is so big. It's got that draw on it, which is really nice. It just makes cooking so easy. Put a little bit of wood on and it does this thing. Beef ribs at the back there, they're nearly done. Got real nice pillowy bark on them. Just gonna keep cooking until these are tender. So I started pulling these briskets. Got 2 off so far, and there's one more at the back here that feels like it's ready to go. I'm just doing that by going under the base, under the flat, and if I can put my finger through the muscle fibers, I'm calling it done. This is real nice and jiggly. So I'll take this inside and show you how I'm storing them overnight. So pretty simple method. These are being picked up tomorrow. So to keep them in the best possible position overnight, I'm gonna hold them in some foil in the warmer, but I obviously don't want them to leak. So I'm just gonna foil wrap it, double foil wrap, and then it will go into a food saver bag. And this really is just to stop it from leaking, nothing else. Take a little bit of the air out, and it'll also help to just soften up that bark a little bit. Obviously we did the foil boat method, so we wanted some super rendered fat, which we've got, but I don't mind that fat softening up a little bit. It's still gonna be super rendery, but it will just soften. So it'll be somewhere between a unwrapped brisket and a foil wrapped brisket. So this will go into the food warmer overnight at about 145 Fahrenheit. So that is it, that was a long day. Last brisket just came off the pit. Coal bed is starting to die down. Verdict on this pit, it is incredibly easy to cook on. So yeah, all those briskets are gonna go into the warmer overnight. They'll be collected tomorrow in bags, sealed so they don't leak. Last brisket off. That was a long day, and to avoid the video just cutting off pretty abruptly, I wrapped up that evening pretty quickly after that and stopped filming, and that's it. A bit of a weird video, I know. Kind of just wanted to document it, and I know some people wanted to see this pit cooking, so the next video will be a proper cook on this, fully documented, full YouTube video, but hopefully that gave you somewhat of an insight into cooking multiple briskets, and to be honest, I just can't wait to fire this thing up again. Any excuse. So thanks very much for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. It really does help me out, and I'll see you next week for another video.